Welcome to the second part of chronic renal failure, where we'll start our discussion with clinical manifestations of chronic renal failure. Obviously, as you can see, both excretory and non-excretory functions of kidney are affected. So, the prominent symptoms or manifestations could be an utter imbalance of electrolyte and acid base, also hematological symptoms, so like anemia, bleeding tendencies, and recurrent infections are seen. Metabolic changes like waste product accumulation leading to pruritus and uremic lungs. Altered carbohydrate metabolism and elevated triglyceride level are also seen. Gastrointestinal changes like mucosal ulcerations, stomatitis, parotitis, gingivitis, esophagitis, gastritis, colitis, gastrointestinal bleeding, diarrhea, and constipation are also seen. So overall, we can see even if we are considering about the GI, we have various types of inflammatory and infectious reactions where we can have ulcerations of even the oral cavity and we can even have peptic ulcers also. Metallic taste is present in mouth, anorexia, nausea, vomiting. Respiratory changes, which is known as Kussmaul's respiration, where we find abnormal foul smell in the breath, dyspnea, pulmonary edema, uremic pruritus, pleural effusion, uremic lungs, cough reflex is depressed, cardiovascular changes with hypertension, which leads to congestive heart failure, retinopathy, encephalopathy, and even nephropathy, dysrhythmia, peripheral edema, uremic pericarditis, neurological changes are also there. Manifestation of peripheral neuropathy with burning feet, gait changes, foot drop. Now, what are the features like CNS involvement or end-stage renal disorder? Forgetfulness would be there. There could be an inability to concentrate, like you do have when you're attending the class, but that is coming from a different reason, obviously. Short attention span, impaired reasoning, musculoskeletal changes like osteomalacia, osteitis verrucosa, osteoporosis, osteosclerosis. Also, there are integumentary changes, yellow gray discoloration of skin, which is what we call as the uremic skin. Dry, scaly pruritus with itching would be present. Petechial and purpura, we can see substantial damage into the skin. Hair is brittle, nails are thin and brittle. Productive changes like in moments we'll be seeing menstrual irregularities, infertility, decreased libido, and the same with men impotency, testicular atrophy, oligospermia, decreased libido, decreased sperm mortality. Also, there would be some endocrine changes like hypothyroidism, increased growth hormone and prolactin, immunological changes, depression of human antibody formation, so that would lead into recurrent infections, decreased function of leukocytes, again contributing to increased infection, depression of delayed hypersensitivity. Now we come to part of diagnosis. Diagnostic studies would have history and physical examination. So we need to look into what are the signs and symptoms we have discussed so far and also into the history of the patient. Also routine lab measurements for urea nitrogen, serum creatinine, serum electrolytes, hematocrit value, hemoglobin level, urine analysis and urine culture would be useful. And we know why are we looking into this because one or the other way, all these quantities were affected by chronic renal failure. Also, identification of reversible renal disease should be ruled out, like in cases of renal ultrasound, renal scan, CT scan, renal biopsy should be carried out. Now, let us look into the medical management, like the conditions that we have which will worsen this disease is hyperkalemia, pericarditis, hypertension, and anemia. All these conditions will further uh, deteriorate the conditions of kidney functioning. So in order to manage this, we need to first of all do a dietary intervention. That is, fluid allowance is 500 to 6 ml, 100 more than the previous day. This 24 hours urine output according. Carbohydrate and fat intake should be around 40 to 50 kilocalories per kg per day. Dietary restriction of protein that is limited to 1 gram per kg per day, and vitamin supplements need to be administered. In order to check with hyperkalemia, dialysis therapy, potassium removal, and potassium restricted diet need to be administered in order to maintain the hypertensive condition. Hyperphosphatemia and hypokalemia. So see, both of these conditions are relatable to each other. That is, hyperphosphatemia will eventually lead into hypocalcemia. And the treatment is basically based on aluminum-based antacids and carbonate and phosphate binding antacids. That was all about the management. Thank you for listening.